I'm warm. Look at me. See how limber I am?
About this minute, and amount of work. Done?
Off and running. Let's do this. Ready. On the rumble. Alright, we just rocked up to Met's Performance Consulting. We're going to do our VO2 max today and threshold, our lactate threshold. So it's going to be our first experience for all three of us. Obviously this is our first episode of the YouTube channel, so we'll give you a bit of an insight towards the Surf Coast 100 on September the 18th. So we're building towards that, and this will give us a really good indication of our fitness levels and where we are going to head in terms of our running program going forward. So looking forward to it. A bit nervous, but looking forward to it.
So in terms of testing protocol, we'll put you all through the same test, so VO2 max with our blood lactate analysis. We work off a 3-minute ramp test, so it starts out really easy. Every 3 minutes, progressively just go up by 1k an hour. Go until you blow, basically. Aim is to just get as far into the test as you can. Wherever that is, if you get to the end of a 3-minute stage and go, nah, can't go up another speed, so be it. If you feel like you've got a little bit in you, I'd definitely recommend just try and go for 30 seconds. If that 30 seconds turns into 60, turns into 90, turns into 2 minutes, that'll definitely influence what we see at the top end of your data. If that attempt to go at go for another 30 seconds ends up being 10, just grab the sides, jump off either side. At least we know you couldn't go any further. From an oxygen consumption perspective, we'll hook you up to a mask that's going to measure your oxygen consumption. We'll get heart rate on you as well. And then we'll take a blood lactate sample throughout the test also. So we'll take one at resting before we start, and we'll take one at the end of each 3 minutes. So you'll keep running the entire time. You just pass your hand out to us. I'll grab a quick little sample before we get to the end of the stage, about 10, 15 seconds to go. Grab that lactate sample, get back into your rhythm, and we bump up the speed. And we just take as many of those as we need to again until you can't go anymore. See how we go. Keeping a nice gradual pace at the moment. We want to see if we can get more than 18 minutes. Wish him luck. Done? Felt like you didn't have any more to give? Legs felt pretty good?
Oh no, I'm getting tired. Yeah. So what is VO2 max? VO2 max is the maximum amount of oxygen your body can use during exercise. So what is an aerobic threshold? It is the highest exercise intensity that your body can sustain during a prolonged period of time without lactic acid building up in your blood. This is a critical measure towards what you're looking to do and achieve during your long runs and what we classify as our easy runs. And making sure we're not getting over that threshold, because obviously we can't keep that pace for long enough or longer than what we need for these long endurance races. My VO2 max is 55.6 with a VO2 max pace of 345. So on top of that, going through my results showed during the VO2 max that my pace, if I was to dip under 4 minutes 36 per kilometre pace, that I would be dipping into the lactic threshold, which I don't want to do. So my longer runs, my easy runs, which is a run that I should be able to sustain a period of a pace for a long time without it being, I should be able to talk, have an easy conversation, but with a heart rate being between, say, 140 and 155 beats per minute. We're just down at Albert Park. We're going to go through some running biomechanics with Paul McKinnon. He's a well-known international running coach, been recommended by a few people. So we thought we'd get in contact with him to help with my running gait, my technique, going to these ultra marathons, and also some running that we've got planned after this ultra marathon. We've done a lot of work with the osteopath Altona, with LJ, who's also a member of ours. We put all our members onto her, which is a tremendous help in terms of my running previously. So we're always looking to improve and see what else we can work on and get better. So we thought we'd see how we go with this and see if it can help me get faster, get more efficient, and obviously stay injury free. So looking forward to seeing how this goes.
Be really about kinesthetic awareness, so understanding how you currently move, the patterns you make, the position you make them in, how that affects your speed, efficiency, or possible loading, stress loading areas. So the pattern of movement that you make is going to create the relationship between you and the ground, and if you can spend less time on the ground or less braking force and more time in the air, you'll be able to feel it. And so those cumulative forces should actually create a better version. What I'll get you to do, just shoot out to the far cone and back for me at the moment, just so I can have a look, and then we'll get into thinking about different stuff. Cool. So the first thing I'll get you to become aware of is like your arm movement. We'll break it down like a few different times, so we'll kind of do a few of these. But the first thing all I want you to do is run out and back and think, I'm running, what are my arms doing? Or how or where do I hold them? We'll just start with that. So it's just getting awareness of what they're doing. First impressions, what's starting to come to you? Like, what do you notice?
Oh, I just feel like I don't go back too much.
So what's moving most at the moment?
Hands?
Yeah, yeah. So it's hands are kind of doing a lot of it, like that lower arm and hand movement. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you like 2 reference points to kind of work out what's happening. Yeah. So one reference point being, the funny bone inside of the elbow. Yeah. The other one being, the midline of your rib cage. So it's even like the seam of your arm. Yeah. What I want you to think about is, if that is one reference point, where or how far forward or how far back does this stay or get to in relation to this? And I just want you to think about, does it just stay, does it get forward, does it come back and forward, yeah. So he's already knows that his hands are moving mostly, so the arms aren't moving at all. There's hardly any movement through that shoulder joint, that ball and socket joint. It doesn't. It kind of, just hangs back here and just stays. Yeah. And that's when the hands are doing your movement for you. Yeah. So the last thing we'll do is we'll do kind of like shoulders, scapula, like to piece it all together. Yeah. So before I do that, did you feel any difference between left and right? It's pretty similar. So what we'll do, we'll go down into more thoracic and lumbar. What I want you to feel is when you start running, do you remain in this neutral shape? I guess it's probably more about like the curve that you have at the moment, or does that increase? And on the way back, I want you to think maybe more the front side, thinking about kind of the ribs, sternum. When you start running, do you remain in that current, or do you lift? So it's just about a difference between, am I staying or am I changing? Yeah. Tell me if you change, where you feel it most. Can you feel yourself arch a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think particularly if it's actually more kind of lower, like it's restricted. Yeah. If we can actually flatten out, change into a little bit more of a stronger position, straight away that range of motion changes as well. Yeah. So this is giving you some of this, which is changing that. It's just to give you a feel of, like I can open up a little bit if I do give it time and space by swinging through on that arm swing, which is then changing that landing, which is a little bit smoother and rolls through a little bit lighter. Think about your 100k, anything that can take away some braking force, and therefore, what's going into the foot and into the body, it has to be a positive, which is exactly what you're feeling. But the only thing that's changing is just that range of motion. Yeah. The elbow is the focal point, yeah. So the higher it comes, the more it's saying to this, or the bigger range it goes through, the more it's saying to your legs, I want a bigger range. Yeah. All the things that you felt change down through the body are outcomes of this. Yeah. So your focal point of what you're trying to achieve and implement is up here. I normally say it takes 15 runs, give or take. So it can, it can take 4 to 6 weeks for it just to start to become really comfortable and natural. Before then we can move on, and we don't move on until it feels comfortable and natural. So,
Alright, so just finished up our running technique session with Paul McKinnon. It was really fascinating to see the changes that were made through that period of time. For me, it was about staying relaxed with my upper body. He said I was quite stiff, so just feeling nice and soft is the word, I guess, and swing your arms from the elbows and not from the hands, and then everything else will sort of follow from there. So it was really interesting. I got a lot from it, so I'm looking forward to seeing how I go in today's interval run and using that technique going forward in the longer runs. And I guess it will take a little bit of time to keep that technique flowing, but I'm looking forward to becoming my new technique. So yeah, big thanks to Paul for coming down and taking me through that.
Nearly jumped to the top. I was born in it.
2, 1.
We've got the truck here, Dan. It's going to take this to new level, I reckon. So see how we go.
Done up this, you sure? 5, 4, if you grab the sides, we're done. 3, 2, 1, done. Well, mate, stay there, stay there. Hold on, whoa. Still hooked in. Very hard. I remember when I was always that heavy.